Rise and shine, wild ones. It's Bernadette. I am here on this Friday, October 9th, 2020, with your Pick a Card Daily Tarot reading. I really am here even though you can't see me. Thank you guys for all of your emails and IMs and Facebook messages and just everything. Wishing me well. I had dental surgery that went a little awry earlier in the week and haven't really been able to see my way clear to do video, but I'm almost there. And I'm being all boogity, boogity, woogity, woogity about today's card because, as you know, Fridays are governed by the throat chakra. Planetary influence is Venus. It's all about the love, the feels, the time you spend with family, the time you spend with lovers, the time you spend with things doing that you love. And what's so interesting is the Magician card, which in my own award-winning Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck, which is what I use to do readings based on the Rider-Waite Tarot, the Magician card is the Raven. And my gosh, you guys, it's October, it's almost Halloween. If there weren't a more mystical, there's not another more mystical, magical card in the deck, period, even in the regular Rider-Waite Tarot deck. But when you talk about ravens, crows, that kind of thing, but in particular ravens, there's just this enduring mystique, mystery, esoteric-y kind of feeling about them. And having them come out, having these, having the Magician and then also having, pardon me, Raven show up on a love day, man, holy guacamole, that is some kind of more powerful than you might realize at this moment. So let's jump right in there. And that is the Magician card. Pardon me one second. Thank you for your patience. So the Magician card is all about alchemy and manifestation and just sheer willpower. But rather than being a bull in a china shop when it comes to sheer willpower, what has happened is, if you look at the traditional card, you'll see that the Magician's arms are, his right arm is up to the sky, his left arm, if you're standing as the Magician, not viewing the card, but you've got to put yourself in the place of the Magician, that is showing the as above, so below principle. And the use of the blues and the reds, it's all about balance. It's all about the divine masculine marrying with the divine feminine and fertility. It's the merging of male and female energies. Well, what most people don't know initially about the Magician card is that it's actually the power of love that allows the Magician to control the physical world. And that is represented by the symbols on the table in front of him. So we take a look at those. We take a look at, those are the four suits of the tarot. We've got pentacles, we've got cups, we've got swords, we've got wands. It brings in all of those four elements, earth, air, fire, water, and then of course on pentacles you've got spirit. And the Magician in tarot is a life giver. If you take a look at that purple belt, or they call it a cincture, around his waist, it's in the form of a snake, like an oberus, a snake that's eating its own tail, which is another form of eternal life, which of course, what is love? It's very eternal. So whatever you're working with today in terms of what or who you love, be very prepared for there to be a really magical, mystical quality about it that I would really encourage you not to question. I would really encourage you to just accept it for what it is and let it unfold, because again, you've got the as above, so below principle happening, and everything is coming together, in ways that you'll look around one day and you'll go, man, that was just meant to be, or can you believe it? What a bunch of coincidences, or, any of the million things that people say when they just really have no explanation for why something happened. And yet the explanation is because you manifested it. You may not understand how you did that. You may have done it subconsciously and not totally consciously, but you manifested it. And just to take one more look at the traditional symbolism, in the tarot card meanings for the Magician card, if you take a look that he's standing under a canopy of roses, that is, my gosh, even in today's society, and as long as symbolism and meanings have been symbolism and meanings, roses have represented divine love. And depending on the color of the rose, it's what kind of love is that? Is it friendship? Is it family? Is it romantic? Is it whatever, whatever that is? And so when you take a look at the lilies and the roses at the bottom of the card, then you take a look at all of the romantic love, but also like a deity manifested institutions of faith, because that's what lilies represent. They're very, very big in the churches, but really they mean more faith than anything else. So again, hearkening back to what was just said earlier about, listen, y'all, there's going to be some really kooky, woo kind of stuff going on today, and that might even carry through the weekend. The other thing that this card, the Magician card, does call for you to do is to take a look at the loves in your life and see, are they bringing magic to your life or are they not? Are they taking away your magic? And the reason that I bring that up is the Magician can direct consciousness and energy at will. It really is kind of like having an elder wand. And when you take a look at that double terminated wand that he's got in his right hand, and the free, that's pointing towards the spiritual world, the heavens, and then the other hand is pointing towards the ground below. It's like a gesture of a blessing. It's like a gesture of, this energy I draw into me now, it is coming now, this is my will. But this will is born in love. And the Magician's white robe symbolizes, quote unquote, the great work, the true spiritual purpose. And let me take that one step further. The red over the garment that he's wearing, it means that this work is an act of love. So what that means is, this sounds like, oh my gosh, really earth-shattering. Okay, it may not even be all that. What it might be is, you might get in a kerfuffle with someone that you really do care for, and they just may not understand because they've got tunnel vision, or they think they've heard something that they didn't hear, they've interpreted something that you said, you never meant it that way, they didn't ask, they didn't, and they just react and explode and go crazy. Okay, but you can control that situation. What I'm not saying is you can control them. What I am saying is you can control the situation, because when it does come time to come together and have a conversation or an interaction, if everything you do and everything you say comes from a place of great love, and your goal, your focus is only on what is the greater accomplishment of love in this situation, it can be this. So I was watching the movie Harriet Tubman the other night, and I don't remember exactly what she said, but there was a point at which one of their own, one of the black fellas there had turned and was turning in and hunting and tracking black runaways. And he caught up with Harriet, and Harriet turned around to him, and not in a threatening way. I don't remember if she said, I've got God, I've got the power of God, I've got this, I've got that, I've got whatever. But it stopped that kid right in his tracks. And he actually, in that moment, saw clearly what the greater act was there. He was able to step outside of his own, whatever he had going on, his trust issues, his money issues, whatever his own issues were. In that moment, he was able to see the greater good, and he actually ended up being very instrumental in the Harriet Tubman, the underground movement. So when you go through today, whatever great loves you're talking to, thinking about, working on, there will be a mystical quality that will take over it if you just put yourself in the place where everything you think, say, and do comes and is filtered through and seen by the eyes of love. Your love for that person, your love for whatever project that is being created, or, whatever. Now, where the raven comes in so heavily is, ravens are kooky creatures. They can speak. They have, they're known to have empathy. They have great, great senses of humor. Their legend and their lore is legendary. And that doesn't make them kooky. It just makes them especially interesting to people. I mean, my God, when you tell people, I keep seeing a raven around you, they go crazy. They have like this, celebration. Tell them you see a silkworm around them. They're like, a silkworm? Okay, but tell them they've got a raven, and man, they're all powerful. They're like, an X-Man or something. So ravens are all about manifestation because they're about transmutation. Now, the black color of ravens, that black that's so black that it can be purple or blue, now you're talking about the deep, deep, deep places and spaces that we can go. And even though up till just recently it was thought that, I believe they thought deep space was black, it's actually not. There have been all kinds of, provings that it's all kinds of other colors. Raven medicine really calls for you to laugh and to keep it real and to understand that you can turn a positive or a negative into a positive. Because why? Because it will come through laughter. It will come through rising above. It will come to not being afraid to face the darkness. It's a timeless, timeless message. It is, don't make promises and then abandon it when things get hard. Raven does not do that. And how do we know that? Quoth the raven nevermore. Don't make promises that you can't keep. If you find that you can't keep them, don't make it everybody else's fault except for your own, because it's not about fault. Things change, and that's where Raven comes in. Raven's about transmutation. If things have to change, they have to change. That's just the way that it is. Where humans get mired up in the muck is, instead of just coming to people and saying, I've rethought this, I was wrong, or I've rethought this, I can't do this, how can we work this out? They create giant maelstroms, and they create big fires, and they create volcanoes because they're not willing to do what Raven will do, which is speak that truth. And so whatever truth you need to speak, whatever spiritual rebirth you need to have with your loved ones. Now remember, you guys, this is Friday. It's Venus. It's love related. It can be romance. It can be family. It can be your pet, for God's sake. She looked at me like I'd lost my second head, or had a third head or something the other day, but I bawled my eyes out and told my dog Hops that, I was sorry I hadn't been able to take her out so much the last few days. It'd been raining, and we've got a hurricane coming, and so on and so forth. And she just looked at me and was like, I just want a treat and to go back to sleep. And that's her, if you can hear her snoring in the background. But if Raven is coming in as your spirit animal today, and you'll know that because this daily reading, this Pick a Card Daily Tarot reading, will not be the first time you hear today or in the next 36 or 48 hours about ravens. You'll know, it will not be. You'll know that there's a big kind of shift coming, a big transmutation coming. And let me just go back to the Raven thing about the kind of the truth telling and seeing and that kind of thing. Raven also asks, when it quotes the nevermore, for you to take a good look at yourself. Don't be necessarily looking outside of yourself for these signs. Have enough divine love, like the magician, for yourself to really face yourself and think, well, have I been a truth teller? Have I been easily corrupted? Have I this? Have I that? And if it's yes, okay, the world's not going to come to an end. Fix it and move on. That's how simple that it is. And if Raven is your totem animal, and I know I'm jumping right back to that, but I want to kind of get this wrapped up here. If Raven is your totem animal, man, I want to be around you with a beer. You've always got a joke. You can see the funny in everything. You're a little mischievous. You're one of those people that play those great jokes at the office. And if you invoke Raven as your power animal, be very, very certain that you're ready for the magic that will truly come into your life. Because once you open the door to magic, it just keeps coming. And that's a good thing. All right, I hope this has been helpful to you. Happy Friday. I hope you find all of the loves that you're wanting in your life. I hope that you give all of the love that you want in your life. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Pick up your copy of the Arc Animal Spirit and Tarot and Oracle deck. And all things most important, stay wild.